Hello students, welcome to the class of Pole Science of class 9, and today we will continue with the same topic that we discussed earlier, and that topic is related to the Constitution of South Africa. In the previous class we read about how Nelson Mandela helped actually along with his struggles to free South Africa, and he also served 28 years of jail, and after so many of protests and agitations, South Africa finally gained independence, and the date was 26th April 1994. Clear? And all the sections of the people, be it the whites, be it the blacks, be it the colored races, or be it the migrant Indians, all thought of creating a new South Africa that will be built on equality, and that equality will be given to all the races. So we had discussed up to here. So today we will further proceed from this para. Clear? So after 2 years of discussion and debate, they came out with one of the finest constitutions the world ever had. So if you remember, in the previous class we read that all the whites, blacks, colored and migrated, the political parties or the leaders from every section set to make a good constitution. And how many years it take actually to make this constitution of South Africa? It took around 2 years. So after 2 years of discussion and debate, that means they had discussions also, and on some topic they had debate also. Clear? So after that they came out with one of the finest constitutions the world has ever had. And after so many discussions and debates, it can be said that out of many countries in the world, the Constitution of South Africa is very good. So for that reason it is said that the South African Constitution is the finest constitution the world has ever had. That means that much of goodness is there in the Constitution of South Africa. The Constitution gave to its citizens the most extensive rights available in any country. That means according to this Constitution of South Africa, there are many rights that has been given to the citizens of South Africa, be it black, be it colored, or be it the whites. They enjoy the most extensive rights, that means many rights, that is not given in any country. So you can tell that out of the 193 countries, or out of the 200 countries in the world, South Africa enjoys, or the citizens of South Africa enjoys, the most extensive rights. That means maximum number of rights they enjoy. Together they decided that in search for a solution to the problems, nobody should be excluded and no one should be treated as a demon. So during their debates and discussions, what they decided actually, the leaders, they decided that nobody should be excluded. That means not a single person belonging to the Republic of South Africa should be actually moved out or should be excluded. All should be included in that benefit, whatever the Constitution will give the citizens. The preamble to the South African Constitution sums up this spirit, and in this way what happens, whatever the rights have been given, the extensive right has been given, the preamble to the South African Constitution sums up this spirit. So here it is written that, see page number 50, and we all will try to look at page number 50, what is the Constitution of South Africa actually gives its citizens. And coming to page number 50, so this is related to the Constitution of South Africa. Clear? So why the Constitution of South Africa is regarded as the finest constitution, you can look from here, page number 50. Try to self-analyze this part. So moving on to the next part, the South African constitution inspired democrats all over the world. This constitution, what it did actually, it inspired democrats all over the world. That means the people or the leader who supports democracy or who wants democracy or who are following democracy in their country, they are actually inspired by this South African constitution. Because of what? Because of its extensive rights given to its citizens. State denounced by the entire world till recently as the most undemocratic one is now seen as a model of democracy. And why South Africa's constitution or South Africa's story is so inspiring? Because earlier what was actually the condition of the people of South Africa? They were tortured and the black Africans were separately given every facilities, starting from public transport to drinking water. So that country who has gone through such a stage is now having one of the finest constitution in the world. So that also inspires the leaders of the democratic country. And South Africa is now seen as what? A model of democracy. That means as an inspiring model of democracy. That means they can follow South Africa and their policy of democracy. What made this change possible was that the determination of the people of South Africa to work together. And what made actually the people of South Africa actually made the success of South Africa possible? Because all of them, be it colored, be it black or be it whites, they all decided to come together, and after coming together they decided to work together actually. And whatever the bitter experiences were there, they decided to give up that bitter experience and follow the path of development. So it was the people of South Africa, the reason actually by which South Africa now is one of the model of democracy, or it has become the model of democracy. Clear? Now moving on to the next topic, that is why do we need a constitution? So moving on to this, the South African example is very good way to understand why we need a constitution and what do constitutions do. That means if we read about South Africa and we have actually cleared our doubts that why a constitution is needed, and through that constitution what it can actually do for the people of that particular country, we have now understand. The oppressor and the oppressed in this new democracy were planning to live together as equals. Taking examples of South Africa, now South Africa is what? The oppressor who was actually dominating and who was actually tortured. Both of the group are today what? Living in a new democratic world. That means they have seated together, they have discussed, they have debated, and they have made one of the finest constitution. And according to that finest constitution, none will be left out and benefits will be given to all, irrespective of caste, creed or color. They wanted to safeguard their interest. The black majority was keen to ensure that the democratic principle of the majority rule was not compromised. That means not only the black, all were ensuring their rights. That means the black were thinking for their majority, the whites were thinking for their majority, the colored sections were thinking for their own majority. So in this way they reached to what? They reached to make one of the finest constitutions in the world. They wanted substantial social and economic rights. It's about the black. They wanted democratic principle also not to be compromised. That means their rights will not be compromised at any level. After that, they wanted a substantial social and economic rights. That means social development also they wanted, and along with that whatever the economic rights they are to be given, they should have that. They were demanding that. The white minority was keen to protect its privileges and property. Now unlike the black, the whites was keen on what? To protect its privileges and property. Whatever the property they had and whatever the privileges they were getting, they were keen on protecting that. Clear? So after that, after long negotiations, both parties agreed to a compromise. That means what? The black were demanding their own thing and the whites were keen on demanding their own thing. But after some times, after lots of negotiations, as you can see, long negotiations, both parties did what? They reached to a compromising situation. That means some of the things which they wanted, they did what? They left that out of, suppose the black had 3 demands overall, they left what? 1 demand. Unlike that, the whites also did that, so they reached to what? They reached to a compromising situation. The whites agreed to the principle of majority rule and that of one person, one vote. The whites now agreed to what? Earlier they were keen on what? Their property, keen on protecting their property. But now the white agreed, after compromise, they agreed to the principle of majority rule. That means whoever the party will have the majority, they will rule that country, and that of one person, one vote. And they also reached to this feature, that is one person, one vote. That means one person has the value of one vote. They agreed to these 2 things. They also agreed to accept some basic rights for the poor and workers. Along with that, along with the majority rule and one person, one vote, they also agree to support what? Some basic rights for the poor and the workers. That means those who are from the poor sections and the worker sections, some additional rights or some basic rights will be given to those poor people and workers. Clear? After that, the whites agreed on these 3 things. That means principle of majority rule, one person, one vote, and basic rights for poor and workers. These were agreed by whom? The whites, or the white majority. Now, the blacks agreed that majority rule would not be absolute. And in the other case, what happened? The blacks agreed that majority rule would not be absolute. That means static. They agreed that the majority would not take away the property of the white minority. That means if the majority of the rule is by the blacks, so they will do what? They will not take away the property of the white minority. Because the white are fewer in number in South Africa, they are less in number. So when the blacks will have the majority, they will not take away what? The property of the white minority. Clear? So this compromise was not easy. How was this compromise going to be implemented? Even if they managed to trust each other, what was the guarantee that this trust will not be broken in future? Clear? So whatever the compromising situation they reached, actually the whites reached to a compromising situation that they will allow, or they will work on the principle of majority rule, they will accept one person, one vote, and they will accept basic rights for poors. Whereas the blacks also agreed that majority rule will not be absolute. Absolute means if they rule with the majority, or if they are majority in South Africa, the blacks are the 3/4. So with this majority, they will not take the property of white minority. Whatever the property the white minority has, they will not take. The black Africans will not take away the property of that white minority. But here the question comes, this compromise was not easy as agreement was not done. It was not going to be easy actually. Why? Because even if they manage to trust each other, what was the guarantee that this trust will not be broken in future? That means if this compromise is made now, suppose after 5 or 10 years, just assume that, how can you trust that whatever on the trusted grounds this black and whites are ruling now, that will not be broken after 5 or 10 years of ruling in South Africa? So this was the bigger question in the minds of both whites and blacks. So today we will wind up here only, and in the next class we will read about how the black Africans and the white minorities actually builded the trust or we can say that how did they manage to give such a finest constitution by having so much complexion like the principle of majority rule or the protection of property, as this was the bigger problem. Clear? And beyond this also, after overtaking this problem, how they managed actually to give such a fine constitution that is a model, or that is really inspiring to the other democratic countries in the world. We will read in the next class. So I hope that whatever topic is being read today, it's now clear in your minds. With this, I will wind up today's topic. Thank you.